Well guys, I have come up with the one for the engine. This is it. This is the original gasket that is sitting beneath the cylinder set, and these are the two gaskets that I have prepared. The idea was, since this is 0.4, I'm guessing it was 0.5, but once I tightened the engine, the cylinder, it clearly pressed this thing a little, and now it is 0.4 millimeters, and it's not thick enough. So my idea was, they probably won't be able for you guys to see the difference. Anyway, this is 1 millimeter flat. So I had this idea to place two of these just in case beneath the cylinder, and as you can see, they transform this into very thick gasket. They are transforming into very thick gasket that is gonna help me lift the cylinder a bit, and then the piston won't hit the head. But when I did that, I was actually got to think that I can do that, but I can't actually predict how much is gonna change the compression that the piston generates in the cylinder. So now I decided to take the gasket that is sitting beneath the head, in between the head and the cylinder, and use this gasket and trace the difference. As you can see, this is the difference in the piston according to the head, and use this type of grinding tool with the vert. So I'm gonna try and grind this edge over here, just smooth it out, gradually smooth it out, like the goal is gonna be to make this gradually go smoother and to overlap with this part. So at the moment, the piston is hitting this edge, and it is not okay. There is no way for this engine to run the way it's supposed to. So I can easily add those gaskets beneath this engine, beneath the cylinder. But then what is possible to happen is, when the original piston is made to go perfectly in this gap over here, and when it compresses the fuel air mixture, when it compresses that mixture, it has this gap over here that is actually the chamber for the ignition chamber. And when that mixture is pressed over here and it gets ignited, this is where the spark sits. And when this is ignited from the spark, the burning process starts to develop evenly on top of the piston. And now, I'm just guessing, this is a wild guess, I don't know, I'm not that into engines, but I'm guessing that now, when I have this bigger piston and I have this smaller chamber, it is gonna prevent I will have this slight gap. Just imagine this thing. I'm gonna make this a little bit like that. I'm gonna have slight gap between this chamber and the cylinder, and it's gonna be somehow awkward. And I'm thinking that it may result in preventing the gradual dispersing of the flame, and is gonna, instead of letting the fuel mixture to burn from the inside out as it's supposed to generate some circular type motions and some disturbance inside the cylinder and the piston, and it won't generate the full power that the new piston and the new cylinder are gonna be able to. It's not much, but anyway, I don't want to risk that from happening. I'm not sure exactly what is gonna happen. I'm saying it again, this is just a wild guess, so fingers crossed I'm gonna avoid this thing by trying to grind this edge, and I'm gonna do this now. Just for reference, I'm gonna show you the piston. So you probably can see this line that is around the edge of the piston. This is where it hit the head, and I wanna avoid that. So let's give it a try. So here it is. It looks like this now. It's a bit funny, but I'm hoping that this is gonna work, and I've stayed in the line. It is not visible, at least it's not visible at this angle, but anyway, so I'm gonna try and grade it a bit with the sandpaper, fine sandpaper, because I made some scratches along the surface that it doesn't need any scratches. It has to be polished, perfectly polished. So I'm gonna try to get that out, and we are gonna proceed to mounting this thing and see if this made any difference. Look at this. This is definitely not enough. I'm gonna have to try one more time and widen this thing out. So guys, this is the final result. I'm thinking that this is gonna be more than enough, and actually it turned out to be rather cool. I don't know, it is simply beautiful. It's not perfect, but as you can see, it looks okay, at least to me. And now I'm gonna try and polish the surface and assemble this, and with the combination of the thicker gasket and the thing that I did over here, this grinding, I'm thinking that everything is gonna be okay. So let's proceed. I don't know if you can be able to see it, but I'm gonna try to give you a glimpse. Here it is. Now it fits perfectly, and trying to show you all different angles. Maybe this is gonna focus better. So here it is. I can't wait. Here it is, and what I wanted to say is that if this thing doesn't work, I can always go and buy myself the proper head for this set, but for this cylinder set. But since I was not expecting to be only the cylinder, I have to place another order, and I have to wait for at least a few days, and I don't have this patience, and practically these heads from the old cylinders are unusable, and why throw a perfectly good part? If this thing works, the fun to do it myself is so much. First of all, I'm not wasting any more time to just sit around and wait for parts. Second of all, I enjoy this process, and the fact that I made this is so cool. So let's hope this is gonna work, and let's start mounting this thing. Okay guys, so I'm ready to try it. I have all the bells and whistles that I actually need for the bike to run. I've mounted the exhaust, I've mounted the coil, and the spark plug is in. I've kicked it a couple of times just to make sure everything is fine, so let's try and start it. Well guys, there we have it, it runs. So guys, there you have it. The first one is already working, but as it turns out, I'm guessing that this carburetor with the original injector, it's not gonna work, because in the low RPMs it's working. We had to adjust behind the camera. I forgot the camera is not working. I had to adjust the RPMs a little bit from the carburetor, but when I rev it, it doesn't have power. It actually cuts off. So my guess is that it doesn't have enough fuel, and it is pointless for me to attempt to adjust this carburetor. I'm just gonna make the other one with the bigger injector, and then I'm gonna install it and we're gonna try it again. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna take it out, I'm gonna wash it, so it is gonna be ready to get the seat back in and to give it a run, of course.